Welcome back to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
You know the name Jerome Luai, right? Electric on the field. Definitely a headline grabber off it, too.
Oh, absolutely. Hard to miss.
But before the premierships, before leading Samoa to a World Cup final, before that massive move to the West Tigers,
Yeah.
there was a young kid in Mount Druitt facing some serious challenges.
Right. That's often where the real story starts, isn't it?
Exactly. So today, we're going to unpack that journey, piece by piece, from those tough early years right up to the superstar he is today.
Mm-hmm.
So the big question we're tackling head on, who is Jerome Luai?
Exactly. And we've looked through quite a bit of material, different sources that really chart his evolution.
Okay.
And it's not just a simple story of, sporting success. It's really about how personal experiences, the good and the difficult, really shape a person in their path forward.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then, the foundations. Jerome Luai, born in Sydney, 1997.
Yep.
And he's got this fantastic Samoan and Māori heritage.
Mm-hmm. Very strong cultural roots.
But his early life, growing up in Mount Druitt, well, the sources are pretty clear it wasn't easy.
No, it was a suburb facing, real socioeconomic headwinds, as they say.
And what becomes clear pretty fast is the amount of responsibility that fell on Jerome. He was the eldest of 4 kids.
Yeah, and that's compounded by the situation with his father, Martin. He was imprisoned for drug trafficking.
Which sounds really heavy, but the sources suggest it wasn't, malicious. It was more out of desperation, trying to provide.
That seems to be the angle presented, yeah. A father trying to support his family under difficult circumstances. But regardless of the motive, that kind of situation, it forces a young person to grow up incredibly fast.
You can only imagine taking on that kind of responsibility as the oldest sibling.
Absolutely. A deep sense of duty towards his siblings.
But even with all that hardship, we see this dream forming, right? Rugby League.
Yeah, clinging on to that ambition. It wasn't just playing a game he loved.
No, it was potentially their family's way out. That's a huge weight for a kid to carry.
It really is. A massive expectation. And it's worth noting, even while dealing with all that stuff,
Right.
off the field, he was already playing.
Right. Started out with the St. Mary's Saints.
Exactly. That early involvement, that passion for the game itself, must have been a pretty crucial anchor during, a turbulent time.
Okay, so things are tough, but he's got the game. Then, here's where things really start to shift, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The sources point to him getting into the Penrith Panthers system. That seems like a real turning point.
Definitely. A crucial step up in his career path.
And there's a detail in the research that really hits home. His NRL debut, Panthers, 2018.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. It was made even more poignant because, his father listened to the game from prison.
Wow. Just think about that for a second. Making it to the top league, achieving that dream, and knowing your dad is listening in from there.
That connection, across the walls, that shared moment, that milestone, must have been incredibly significant for both of them.
You can only guess at the emotions. It just highlights how those early family struggles, his father's absence, it all became this, intense fuel.
A powerful motivation.
Right.
It wasn't just about personal ambition anymore.
No, it was deeply tied into his family, their well-being, their future.
Precisely. And you see that sometimes, don't you? High achievers often channel that early adversity into incredible drive.
Yeah, seems like for Luai, the footy field became the place where he could really fight for that breakthrough, for himself and for his family.
And fight he did.
So his actual breakthrough moment on the field, when did he truly, arrive?
Well, it's pretty clear he emerged as a real force when he cemented that 5'8" spot for the Penrith Panthers.
Okay, so not just making the team, but becoming that key playmaker.
Exactly. He wasn't just on the team. He was dynamic, integral to their attack. He brought this unpredictable flair.
Creative spark.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. His playmaking, his ability to read the game, create chances.
Yeah.
It really lifted the Panthers.
And you can't argue with the results. That contribution was a key part of them winning multiple premierships.
Huge factor. Winning the grand final, that's the peak in the NRL competition.
And it wasn't just club success, was it? His talent got noticed higher up.
Absolutely. Selection for New South Wales. State of origin.
Which, for anyone listening who might not be deep into rugby league, state of origin is, it's massive here.
Yeah.
Fiercely contested annual series. New South Wales versus Queensland.
It really is the pinnacle of state-level footy. Huge honor, huge pressure.
And then you look at his leadership, taking it international.
Right. Captaining Samoa. leading them all the way to the final of the 2022 Rugby League World Cup.
That was incredible to watch.
It really was. And that didn't just showcase his playing skills, but also his ability to lead, to inspire a whole nation. Really cemented his status as an international star.
Okay, so we've got the on-field brilliance, the leadership, but beyond the talent with the ball, it seems Luai has built this very distinct brand, and he has quite a bit of influence off the field, too.
Yeah, that's a really interesting aspect. What comes through is this badass agitator persona he's kind of cultivated.
Right, I know what you mean. He plays with an edge.
Definitely. It's a style of play and maybe a public image, too, that's deliberately provocative. It gets people talking.
Which is significant. Over 250,000 followers on Instagram last I checked.
Exactly. So his influence stretches way beyond just rugby league fans. He's become a role model, especially for younger players from similar backgrounds.
Seeing his journey, proof that you can make it, maybe, while staying true to who you are and where you came from.
Precisely. That's a powerful message.
Which brings us sort of up to date, his current situation. The big news, of course, was him signing that 5-year deal with the West's Tigers starting 2025.
Yep. That made major headlines, a really significant long-term commitment.
And it positions him right at the center for the Tigers, doesn't it? He's the key playmaker.
No question. They're making a massive investment in his skills and, crucially, his leadership. The fact he was named co-captain straight away.
Alongside Api Coruscant.
Yeah, alongside Api. That just underlines the faith the club has in him to help guide that team. It's a big statement.
And there was that little preseason injury worry mentioned in some reports.
Shoulder concern, I think.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's fit now, ready to go and take on that leadership role.
Which is crucial for the Tigers heading into the season. They need him on the park.
Absolutely. And it seems like he's embracing the whole thing, the responsibility, working with the coach.
Benji Marshall, who is a legendary player himself, of course.
Yeah.
Another iconic playmaker.
That dynamic. The experienced mentor, Benji, guiding this, well, still relatively young but established star playmaker in Luai, that could be really compelling to watch.
For sure. A storyline to keep an eye on.
So this move to the Tigers, it really feels like a brand new, highly anticipated chapter for him.
It does. New team, new expectations.
His skills, his leadership, that undeniable presence he has on the field, it's all expected to be pretty central to what the Tigers want to achieve going forward.
A lot of pressure, a lot of expectation rests on his shoulders there.
Sounds like he's prepared for it, though.
Seems that way. And when you trace her journey, from the early challenges in Mount Druitt to reaching the very top of Rugby League premierships, representing state and country, leading Samoa, and now taking on this huge role at a new club. It really is a powerful story. Jerome Luai's journey, it stands out as a great example of, resilience, determination, that drive to overcome things.
And his influence, it's twofold, isn't it? How he plays the game, that flair, and also how he connects with fans, with his community off the field. It speaks to someone pretty unique and impactful.
Couldn't agree more. And as he starts this next phase with the West Tigers, it's going to be fascinating, really. See the impact he has on that club.
And just seeing what else he achieves in what's already been a pretty remarkable career.
Yeah, the story's definitely not finished yet.
So that's our deep dive into the world of Jerome Luai, a complex figure, a brilliant player. What aspects of his journey stood out most to you?
Yeah, what resonated?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. This is just kicking off the conversation, really. So make sure to like this, leave a comment with your takeaways.
And let us know who else you think we should explore in a future deep dive.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us.